Hello there. Long time no talk. It's been a bit of a break for me. And the last couple weeks I've been trying to figure out how to start this podcast, do this podcast, how I was going to put my words together in any kind of eloquent fashion. And there's been a lot of chaos happening, so I'm not going to have... This isn't going to be the greatest podcast. Just going to say that right up front. I have some messy notes, some things I want to say, but I think it's just more important to talk right now and get it all out because damn, has it been a winter so far, hasn't it? And I don't know. There's so many things going on, so many horrible things happening in the world that I don't really know how to address it all. And I don't really have a sense of humor right now. I don't know when I'll get that back, if I'll ever get that back. So if you're looking for a podcast today where I'm going to be funny or tell jokes or have a sense of humor, I suggest you go to a different podcast. This is just going to be rage infused. I'll keep it as level as I possibly can. But I took a break in October because I wanted to work on some other projects. A couple things happened. Most didn't. Life keeps lifing. That's how it goes. But here we are. It's January 23rd. And when I posted my last podcast, about 2 hours after I did so, my gas went out in my house. And we had no hot water or heat for a couple days. So that was fun. It seems like every time I post a podcast, something bad or interesting happens. So we'll see what happens this time. It is Friday, and you know, we're expected to have anywhere between 600 and 600 inches of snow. So I'm sure our electricity will go out because on a good day, on a bright, sunny, shiny day, the electricity will go out in this house. So I do expect something to happen where I'll have to pivot and try to stay warm and lit. I'm a little more prepared since I'm so used to it by now, but we're only as prepared as we prepare to be, right? So what's happened? Okay. So my last podcast was in October. We had election night, November 4th. And I kept hearing it was a good night for Democrats. It didn't even cross my mind because my first thought when I saw the results was it's a good night for humanity, for the people of the states in this country who are sick and tired and broke and hungry. But I don't happen to live in any of those states. And I don't know. I'm just so tired of the word Democrat. I'm tired of the word Republican. It's all so divisive. It creates an us versus them narrative, and it's not fucking working. I can tell you that as a Democrat. It was a few good hours, but, you know, we could all see the revenge coming for the rest of us because we are under a dictator who, when he doesn't get his way, when things don't go so well for him, he lashes out like a toddler. So that's, at least he's predictable in that way. But it makes me happy to see an infusion of intelligence and empathy back in the buildings. That's all we want. It doesn't feel like winning. And I don't even care about winning. It feels like hope. Just a tiny little sprinkle of hope on this shit ice cream cone. It's being shoved in our face every day, every minute, every hour. And there was a lot of pomp and circumstance surrounding Mamdani in New York. And You know what? I say let these young ones take the reins. You know why? Because Momdami doesn't need to take a nap before dinner. He doesn't even need to really sleep. And I'm pretty sure he can walk a straight line and doesn't need help up the stairs. Isn't that amazing? And I know that if New York throws up the old bat signal, chances are he'll be awake to see it. And then, wait for it, he'll spring into action like the superhero he wants to be and the superhero we all need him to be, right? We need some more Momdamis. We need some more young people, more women. That's nice. We have New Jersey governor, New Virginia governor. Look at that. I hope the trend continues. Either way, I'm more than happy to see someone be elected to office that can stay up past 9. Because he's only 34. No naps required. Meanwhile, we have a lot of people in Congress who can't even seem to stay awake. Did you know there are 24 members of Congress right now over the age of 80, and that over half of them are running for re-election? Talk about holding on with both liver-spotted hands for dear life. Some people just don't know how to let go. And I think that's a part of the problem. There is no argument to be made that an 80-year-old is representative of the general population now, is there? But just so resistant to change. We know what's right. No, you don't. Get out of there so the young ones can save the world, because you've been fucking it up this whole time. Congress, where is Congress, by the way? What Congress? I don't see the Democrats. I certainly see the Republicans. They're all out there. But, you know, both of them have lost the plot and the script. I just don't. I don't know. A lot of inaction happening. What are we paying these people for? That's what I want to know. So, in my last episode, I was talking about I had just filed a restraining order for a stalking case for my neighbor next door. Yeah, he's my neighbor. I posted on YouTube about him a while back. And yeah, that was a deal. So that was a stressful for any women out there thinking about filing a stalking case. This is what I want you to know. This is why I'm going to share this story. I think they have like 20 days. So once you file the stalking case, they serve them, and then I think maybe, I don't know, a week later you get a court date to show up and say if you still want to go forward or drop the charges. Why would I want to do that, Judge? I did this for a reason. But because they were trying to strong arm me. The person I filed the stalking order against had his lawyer send me a motion to make me pay for his lawyer fees. And that email came through 5 minutes before my court hearing. Like, oh, you're trying to bully me into silence. Okay, I got it. So I was like, yeah, of course I want to move on. So I think they have to do it within 20 or 30 days, something like that, to give you a court appearance. So mine was filed for November 12th. And I was burdened with the task of presenting all the evidence and putting it... This was hilarious. So I was required... I had 18 pieces of evidence, a video, pictures, all kinds of shit. So I had to print all that off 3 times, one for the judge, one for me, and one for the attorney. And then I had to put it all on a drive and take it all to court with me. They didn't use any of my paper copies. The only person that did was the judge. The lawyer didn't ask for it. But there were a lot of crazy things happening between that time and the court date, which I won't go into because it doesn't matter now. Because I knew as soon as I walked in the courtroom that I was going to lose. I mean, I'm excellent at reading people and listening to underhanded conversations. Plus, I'm a woman, and I've had enough experience with men to be able to read them. They're pretty easy to read. And I could tell with the banter and lawyers and judges see each other all the time, but I could just tell, okay, this is what we got going on. So I presented my case. I didn't have a lawyer. I chose not to hire a lawyer. I wasn't going to let that fucker make me pay more money to defend myself in court when I felt like I had enough evidence. And I was, at this point, I thought, no matter which way this goes, whether I win or lose this case, I've still won. Because I stood up to a bully. I stood up to a man who got rejected and couldn't handle it. For once, I stood up for myself. And it was worth every hour I spent. I made a statement during the court hearing about how no woman wants to spend 30 hours working on Excel documents and printing off pictures and videos and going and buying it. Nobody wants to do all of this and then have to go to court and look at her, the person who is assaulting her. Nobody wants to go through that unless they absolutely feel like they have to. So, after all of the evidence was presented, his lawyer stood up and said, oh, everybody tries to play lawyer and she's just a victim, and just the most arrogant asshole. Like I wasn't educated. I almost got a minor in criminal justice. And I, didn't need to have a lawyer with me. I was confident in my ability, and I spoke clearly because I was prepared and I was ready. So the lawyer or the judge said there wasn't enough under the Kansas statutes. There wasn't enough evidence to charge him with stalking or get a restraining order against him. I saw that coming before I even started the court hearing. But the lawyer did ask then for me to pay the lawyer's fees of $1,200. And the judge at least was decent enough to say there was inappropriate behavior that he was going to deny that petition. So that jackhole that lived right next to me had to pay $1,200. And that's good with me. He has since sold his house. So I had some new neighbors move in on January 6th. So at least he's out of here, but I don't know where he went. And like I told the judge, he has family that lives right across in the next neighborhood. So I don't know where he is. He could be anywhere, and he gets to live with all the anonymity he wants now, while I get to stay scared. But that's okay. So anyway, after the court date, I waited him out. I was crying. There were some really nice security guards there. Offered to walk me to the car. And I declined, but I waited the dude out, my neighbor out, until he loitered outside the courthouse with his lawyer and his mom. He brought his mommy to court. So I tried to wait them out so that I didn't see them outside. Waited about 10 minutes, went to my car, and was driving home. He hadn't sold his house yet, but there was a for sale sign in his front yard. So as I'm driving home and pulling in my driveway, the fucker is pulling out of his driveway at the exact moment I'm pulling in, and I have to follow him to get to my driveway. Then he goes to the mailbox. And I get out of my car and I'm looking at him. And he comes around his car to walk to his mailbox and he waves at me. The fucker waved at me. You know, he's a little guy. Not much taller than me. All he had to do, you know, was at any point during this time come over and say, hey, this is a big misunderstanding. I don't know what happened here, but I promise you I'm not trying to hurt you. I mean, there's a myriad of things he could have done to make me feel safe, to work this out before it got that far. But he didn't. He didn't. He chose not to do any of those things. And that's how I know for sure that this fucker was doing everything he could to make my life miserable. The answers are always in the silence. Just remember that. The answers are always in the silence. People think all the answers are in the noise somewhere if only they can pull the puzzle pieces apart and then put them back together. But most often, all the answers can be found in the silence. So even though I lost the case, I won that war. Okay, what else? I mean, so much. It's the worst Christmas of my life. For a lot of reasons. Some I'll talk about, some I won't. But one was that I was missing my stepdad. It was the first Christmas without him. Everything was just, I was not in the mood. And my Christmas lights on my deck kept getting cut. I went through but 2 days before Thanksgiving. And then a couple weeks before Christmas. And then most recently, that's a different story, on my way back from the police station. So I got through Christmas. Don't know how, but I did. And then on New Year's Eve, or the day before New Year's Eve, I posted on my Instagram account that I didn't really care about New Year's Eve. I wasn't looking forward to a new year. Why would I? I mean, I put on there, I think, something like, great, 365 days more of cruelty. And New Year's Day, in the morning, my son's cat, Oreo, got sick immediately, just out of nowhere, and died on New Year's Day. My children, so the cat, when I got divorced, I let the cat stay. I adopted the cat when my kids were little. I let the cat stay in the home where she was used to. My kids would be there, so I knew she'd have them. So I let Oreo stay at their dad's house. And Oreo just started getting sick and frothing at the mouth and having a hard time moving out of nowhere. And she was put down on Christmas Day while my kids were there. And they were devastated. So that started off my new year. Oh, but before that, let's see. Was it the day before New Year's? Anyway, so I've been having stuff happen around this house for years, and I had somebody throw a dog toy, a Hershey bar dog toy, on my front porch. I came home one night after going to a movie with my mom and saw my porch light. My front porch light was out. I was like, well, that's odd. And I took the light bulb out and I was like, that's even more odd. There's nothing wrong with this light bulb. But whatever. So I went to get a new light bulb to replace it. And as I was putting that back in, I noticed it on my front porch. So I didn't catch it on camera. I looked. I couldn't find anything on my door cam. So out of anger, I threw it over to the right side of my house in the middle of the yard. So the way the houses are set up, there's not a lot of room between each house. So in the middle of the yard, you have to walk all the way through the front yard to get to the side of the house where I had thrown it, because I just didn't want to see it anymore. And I knew there was nothing I could do. January 3rd, I was in my house. I usually have my phone on Do Not Disturb because I get so many spam calls. It's insane. So I didn't hear the Ring camera go off, the door cam go off. So the next day I'm walking outside and I see the damn Hershey bar back on my porch. So I go inside, look on my door cam, and sure enough, there is a person with a hat, scarf, all the stuff to keep their faces hidden, throw the Hershey bar back on my doorstep and then run away down the street. So somebody was just fucking with me. And then the last 2 Sundays, well, let's back up. Okay, so no. And then it was another Sunday. God, so many things happen around here. I can't remember, but I think it was the Sunday after that. Somebody had taken my recycling bin out of by my garage door. It's out of view of my camera. You can see that. They took my recycling bin, rolled it out into my yard, and threw it down the hill towards my backyard. This isn't, I'm a rational person. I'm pretty good at like being able to parse things out. Okay, this is how this could have happened. And I try to make every excuse for why I'm not being bullied or terrorized. Because who wants to be bullied or terrorized in their own home? And I've had a lot of that in my life. So, it's not something I invite into my life. But there's no raccoon. There is no 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's Kansas. We've been in 50-mile-per-hour winds. Not a single can is blown over when it's sitting against my garage. No raccoon is going to take the handle and roll my fucking recycling bin out in my yard and then get it down the hill. It's too heavy, and they just aren't that smart. So someone did that. So I went to the police. Well, tried to. That's a joke, as it always is. I decided, okay, my kids have been sick both of my kids have been sick since the middle of January. Or middle of December. Just really ill. So it's been chaos. And in the middle of all that too, my washer and dryer. My dryer went out and my washer was going out. So I am currently dealing with that situation too. But and an outlet started on fire. So, just all kinds of fun around here. But I decided I'm going to go to the police station. I'm going to give it a shot, even though I've, didn't have a lot of faith. And I took the Hershey bar. I took the video. I took my pictures. And I went to the police station in the pouring rain on a day when my kids finally went back to school, and I had a few hours to do it because I don't want my kids to know about these things. I don't tell my kids what goes on around here because luckily most of it happens when they're not in my house. Like somebody knows when my kids aren't here because it just happens when they're not here. And now that I say that, I'm sure it'll start happening while they're here. But if I can shield them from any and all or as much ridiculousness as I can, I do. So they don't know any of this. So I went to the police station. Nobody was in any kind of hurry. And the cop who interviewed me Well, on my way to the police station, I got a text that said, "When are you going to be home?" I get, like I said, lots of spam texts, but this one was really interesting because I was just leaving to go to the police station and it said, "When are you going to be home?" Can you imagine how that feels to think someone knows when you leave your house that you're being watched constantly? Somebody had to watch me throw that Hershey bar, because otherwise, how would that person have known where it was to go get it out of the yard and put it back on my porch again? How did somebody know I left my house? And it was from an LA number. And then when I tried to call it back, "Oh, this caller isn't accepting calls at this time." So I filed the report, and the cop was just like, "Well, that's probably a spam call. I get them all the time." And didn't think anything else was a big deal, but said he'd file a suspicious activity report anyway. And when I came home that day from the police station, I had switched out my Christmas lights to a brand new set, and that set had been cut. Just a portion of it this time. But how convenient. So that's my third set that's gone out. So I think I'm just going to give up after this. Why would I want to have any pretty lights on my house? Why wouldn't we want to have any nice things? And then last Sunday, I came out of my house. Wait, no, the first Sunday. No, I'm wrong. Okay, so the first Sunday that the recycling bin was turned over, I had a call. As soon, exactly at the moment that I was pulling my recycling bin up from the hill to my garage, I got a call from Christina, who was works with the police station, a mental health professional, asking me what was going on and about my mental health. "How you doing? How you doing?" she asked. "What's been going on?" "Well, just to let you know, I won't take any reports," because I just let her know it was funny that she had just called at that time because I was pulling up a recycling bin from down the hill that somebody had thrown down there. "Well, I don't take reports. I mean, this won't be included in it. I'm just here to kind of help you get some help." And then she asked me if I had a gun. Yeah, I have a gun, especially now. Hell yeah, I'm keeping that gun. It's registered. I took a conceal and carry class for it. I have a right to own it. Why is it? Well, we'll get to that in a second. So then she asked me if it had a lock on it. And that's when I ended the conversation with Christina. I said, "I'm done talking to you. I'm not the perpetrator. I'm the victim. I didn't do anything wrong here. I'm not leaving stupid shit on people's doorsteps. I'm not knocking over anybody's trash cans. I'm not doing a damn thing to hurt anybody else. And you're asking me if I'm a danger to society? You're out of your fucking mind." Christina. I just... unfucking believable. But not surprising at all. Nobody from the police station called, investigated, checked. Nothing. Not a word. Not a word. Let's see. When did I do that? When did I go to the police station? I think it was probably the 8th or the 9th. Something like that. Not a word since. And then last Sunday I came out and my recycling bin was again rolled out into my yard and turned over. At least it wasn't thrown down the hill this time, but there was a bunch of recycling stuff in it, so I had to pick that up, move it back, all in front of my neighbors. This is happening. And nobody seems to catch anything. Which I don't, at this point, it doesn't even matter. I'm just amazed that when a woman owns a gun, we ask about her mental health, but a man can own a gun, shoot a woman in the face 3 times, fucking murder her, and is still walking free. Fuck that. Why is it so niche for a woman to have a gun? Men can carry them in Walmart. Nobody's asking any questions. What's going to happen when I carry it into Walmart? It's open carry here. And from the state of the world and watching a mom get shot in the face 3 times. We should all be fucking carrying guns at this point, in my opinion. There is no law. There is no order. There is no nothing. There are no police to call. Unless they can pull you over or terrorize you in some way or gaslight you into believing you're imagining all of this. They are not on our side. The police are not on my side. When I lived in Overland Park, I called the police again when people were throwing mushrooms in my yard. My wreath got stolen off my door. Just all kinds of crazy stuff was happening. And the police officer this time around said, "Oh, I saw an incident in Overland Park." "Yeah, you did. They treated that like a joke, dude. Like you will today. It's all a fucking joke. A single mom living in terror with 2 young children, and it's all a fucking joke." You know, I've known dirty cops all my life. I had an ex-boyfriend, was friends with a dirty cop, and got my stepbrother arrested because I was riding with him in a little caravan style with another dude, and who I was just friends with, and he got jealous and had Mr. Martinez, and this was 30 years ago. Yeah, around 30 years ago. Got him arrested. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff I saw. I wasn't ever guilty of picking the best guys back then. That's probably why I've been single for 9 years. Because I'm just fucking over it now and got a little smarter. Ad nauseum. I've said it over and over and over ad nauseum. I know a lot about police corruption. And at the very least, if it's not corruption, it's fear. They are scared. And I can understand rightfully so. They're scared for their jobs. They're scared for their lives. But you can't, police are worthless. Unless they're pulling you over or investigating or covering up your murder, they're worthless. So do I feel safe? Never. Never. So we won't talk about Venezuela. Everybody already knows about that. Great start to the new year. Okay. But watching video of a mother be shot in the face and murdered in the middle of the day with children at home, to be called a fucking bitch after she was just murdered, and then for her character to be assassinated on Fox News because she was a lesbian. You know, I think she was married before, right? Men just, I don't think some men get it. I don't think Fox News gets it. I don't think a lot of people get it. that you can be lesbian. Maybe you're sick and fucking tired of men. And you're upset. And so you have to assassinate their character like you assassinated them. That's what happens when you reject men. That's what we've learned and grown up with. All of our lives. How do we shrink? How do we maintain peace so that we get to live another day? And that's not even the case anymore. You know, I thought for a long time, if I just shut my mouth, if I just stayed quiet for a little bit, because I'm not quiet. I'm loud. I'm out there. I can be obnoxious. I earned it. I've had 47 years of hard-earned experience. So I earned every word, every action, every reaction. But, you know, I thought, well, if I just stay quiet for a little bit, it'll be all right. Things will get better. No, it just gets worse. Because then you're sitting in the quiet all by yourself. And they know you're scared and they know you're not going to talk. And when a bully recognizes that they can get away with it and you stay quiet, then it only gets worse. That ship sailed for me a long time ago. My safety. There are people who don't like me. And that's okay. Those people who don't like me, I don't want to like me because I want to be nothing like them. You want to throw your stupid shit on my porch? I'm nothing like you. You want to throw my recycling bins in my yard? I'm not like you. You know what we did? My kids took cookies to a few of the neighbors on our street that I think are kind and set them on their doorstep. That's what my kids did. This holiday season. What'd we get? 3 pairs of cut Christmas lights, 2 recycling bins turned over. And that's just even this, that's not even the stuff I'm not going to talk about. You know, I should be looking at colleges for my kid instead of wasting my time at the police station and recording everything while still making dinner and hang drying clothes because my dryer doesn't work and my washer is right behind it, and trying to figure out how I'm going to afford this life because prices are sky high. How I'm going to get the fuck out of here. How I'm going to do anything. How can I look my babies in the face and act like everything is okay? You know, that when I heard about Renee Good, there was just so much going on. Their cat just died. I just did not want to help to make it any worse for my kids. I didn't want to put any more bad news in their way. And so I waited about a week. And then I asked them, did you hear about Renee Good? And my son said, yeah, Mom, that was like a week ago. Like it was old news. I mean, they will generally come home and tell me the things that are happening that I haven't seen yet. They're on it. They see it. And for some reason, it wasn't mentioned in this house for a week, but he knew about it. And now we're all just waiting for the next horrible thing to happen. Instead of enjoying life, instead of wanting to do anything. I mean, I can't leave my house without wondering what somebody's done to it while I was asleep or sitting in my house. At 7:11 p.m., that person was ballsy enough to come to my front door and throw that Hershey bar back onto my porch at 7:11 p.m. while I was probably sitting in my living room. I'll tell you what, if you're listening, meet me in my garage. and we can settle it. One-on-one. If you've got balls, have balls enough to come to my front door. Without saying a word, we can go into my garage. I will shut the garage door and may the best man win. Or woman. How about that? When you don't have any support, anyone to call anymore, what are you supposed to do? So many days have been stolen from so many people. From me, from all the people having to bear witness with their phones, and I'm just fucking furious. I don't know why more people aren't. I don't get it. I mean, I talked to my therapist the other day because I upped how often I see her because of all of this. I was going once a month. Now it's once a week just to get a handle on everything I'm feeling and to be able to tell another human being what's going on. Where was I going with that? I'm just sitting here staring out the window, just beside myself like I am most days. Oh, yeah, so I was telling my therapist, how desperate I was feeling, and she was like, well, how much time are you spending on consuming social media? And I said, a lot. A lot. And is that concerning to anybody? I don't know. I don't think so. You know why? Because when I look at the news, I don't see anybody covering anything. New York Times, Kansas City Star, CNN, they're not covering the protests. They're not covering what's happening in Minnesota. It's all about Trump, Trump, Trump. He dominates every fucking headline. And I don't want to see that. That doesn't make me feel good. There's no good news out there to be had. I mean, the media is bought and sold to the highest bidder, which happens to be Trump. And plus, when he doesn't get his way, he stomps and screams till he does, or threatens, intimidates, and murders. So, and then YouTube, YouTube was running ICE ads. And I was like, fuck this, you're getting people killed. I haven't seen him since then, but YouTube is just kind of, I don't know. I don't feel very good there. I don't feel very good anywhere I go, except for when I can get on social media. I can get on Instagram. Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg, but I can get on Instagram. And I feel like I'm with my people because I see people with their phones. I see people documenting things at their own risk. I see people making signs. I see people marching together. I see people helping each other. I see neighbors helping neighbors. And that's not what's happening here. It's every man for himself here. And to know all this stuff that's happening to me is very, very light. I can go pick up my recycling bin out of the yard. At least my kids still have their mom for another day. Don't know how much longer, but they have her for another day. Renee Good will never see another Saturday. Tomorrow's Saturday. What has it been, 3 Saturdays? She'll never see another Saturday. You know who will never see their mom another Saturday? Her children. So while this might be champagne problems about, cutting Christmas lights and putting shit on my doorstep and throwing my recycling bins in my yard, what's next? So yeah, I feel really threatened. And really disappointed that the people who are doing this don't have the balls to come to my front door and confront me. Hey, I'm down. Let's go. Let's get that anger out. You mad at me? I'm mad at you. Let's go. I have... Go ahead. Have another mental health professional call me. Let's see how that goes. Oh, I'm just fucking furious. Did I say I was furious? I'm furious. I'm going to remain furious. Like a lot of us, we're going to remain furious until something fucking gives. And my kids are... My older son and I participated in the January 20th walkout at 2 p.m. Something small, something little. It's not his first protest. It's probably his fourth. But he knew what it was. He was educated, and I let him decide for himself. And he decided he wanted to. So we did it. I mean, what kid doesn't want to get out of school anyway, right? But we didn't buy anything. And, it's two little people just trying to make a difference with other people out there in the world. And it might be very small, but it was significant to us. I participated in Hands Across America in 1986, and that was 5 to 6 million people participated in that. And just think what those numbers could do if we could all fucking get organized. If we could all get organized. And, excuse me, I had a smoothie earlier. If we could all get organized, Republicans, Democrats, you voted for him? All right. You regret it? Okay. Let's fucking get going. We can fucking argue about abortion later. You don't agree with that? Great. We'll argue about that later. But right now, let's all get together and fucking demand change. Because they are the minority. The people propping this douchebag murderer up, this pedophile up, these pedophiles up, are the minority. They just happen to be backed by billionaires. Change can happen if so many people come together. It's just nobody's fucking organized. And in 1986, you know what they didn't have? They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have social media. They had nothing but what? Newspapers? Word of mouth? And look what they managed to do in 1986. Maybe a random commercial on the TV when you were watching your evening news. We have access to all of this information and are able to get the information out so quickly. And there have been protests popping up where people have, I've been amazed. They're like, let's go. And in hours, people are marching. But that's not doing it. These one-offs aren't doing it. And in 1986, they had it figured out. They got 5 to 6 million people to make a freaking human chain across the United States of America. With, I think, a rope going through the deserts and other places that weren't populated. And we can't get our shit together. It blows my mind. I saw this headline a while back that said Republicans have more Democrat friends than Democrats have Republican friends. Well, no fucking shit. The math is wrong on that, and of course there are. I feel like Republicans are having all the fun. They can commit crimes without any recourse, any police involvement. They don't have to care because they don't have to look at it. Why wouldn't they have a Democrat friend? They don't bear the burden of knowing of knowing what being in poverty feels like, knowing what generational wealth is for them and not everyone else. They don't want to see, because I have to believe if they really, really saw what it's like to live in struggle, that they wouldn't be able to unsee it, and they would help us do something about it, because it costs to care, and Democrats care. Democrats care about other people. And we've seen the price tag, because we've been paying the bill. Democrats have been paying the bill, and we want to, because we care about other people. We care if the kid at school eats. We believe in everyone taken care of. We want to take care of other people. And I can't look at anyone the same anymore if they've seen what I saw and still choose silence and greed. It's disgusting to me. But I know not all the Republicans out there feel that way. A lot have turned. And it's okay to admit when you're wrong. I've been wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things. There are times where I wished I was fucking wrong about a lot of things and I wasn't. If you're a Republican, prove me wrong. I love it. I would love that. I would love to hear you say, I was wrong. I've changed my mind. Let's go. This is a date. We're going to march to the Capitol and demand change. 6 million of us. I don't know. Speaking of greed, my kids always complain about me boycotting so many things. Why can't we go to Chick-fil-A? Why can't we shop at Target now? Why can't we go to Home Depot? Most recently, at the end of October, I canceled my Amazon Prime and boycotted Amazon. Why? Because as soon as I canceled, I made a comment on Instagram about my Amazon, me boycotting Amazon. And then at 11:10 p.m. that very same night, I made that comment on Instagram that I was boycotting Amazon. Amazon sent me a message that they canceled my order at 11:10 p.m. Sorry, no longer available. At this point, I'm boycotting so many places. I'm just like, I don't know. Do I want to have to do this? No. Do I need to do this? Abso-fucking-lutely. Because fuck that. And fuck anybody who wants to give the President of the United States, I hate even saying that word. He's so not worthy of that phrase. Anybody who wants to give Trump a gold bar, Apple, looking at you, I'm done with. Yeah, I have Apple products. It fucking sucks. Google's not any better. Google's a giant too. There's nowhere else to go besides flip phones. And I can't do that because I have to have safety. I have to know where my kids are. I have to have them be able to get a hold of me whenever they can. It is so dangerous anymore that we have to have these damn smartphones, and I want to throw mine in the fucking river. Because they're just listening. Constantly listening. I ordered something for my son for Christmas on the website because I boycotted Amazon. And then the next day when I'm on Instagram, all I see is ads for this particular product. This website. Ads from this website. Why does Instagram know what I ordered through that website? Why, when I'm talking in my house with my kids, does an ad come up talking about the very thing we were talking about? It's illegal. We have no more privacy anywhere, ever. There are no safeguards. There's no legal recourse. It just is what it is. And it's psychological abuse, among many other things. No, I don't want the convenience of you showing me more shit to buy on Instagram that I just bought off a website the other day. That's not convenience. That's an invasion of privacy. Other people may look at it like, oh, well, that's convenient. No, not to me. To me, it's an invasion of privacy and you're breaking the law. But some good has come out of me boycotting Amazon. I'm no longer buying shitty shirts that come in a size too small or too short. Jeans that look nothing like they did on the description on the website. I mean, it's just it's a no man's land on Amazon. So I've found some websites that I do like. And yes, do I have to wait a week or 2 weeks for an order? Sure, but nobody needs anything that fast. I found an art store I like that donates to charity. I got a really cool art piece. There's this little website called Little Blue Cart that will show you all of the local orgs that are and companies that are safe to buy from and connects you with those businesses. So, it forced me to kind of go outside of Amazon because I don't want a fucking drone in my driveway delivering anything. I had a dream that I walked out my front door and there was a drone flying around my head. That sealed the deal for me. You're getting in my dreams, you can fuck off. Because they have this billboard by my house. Lightning fast delivery. Your address just got an upgrade. Drone delivery now available. Keep your fucking robots to yourselves. You want to get rid of people's jobs because you want lightning fast delivery? Fine. I'm not going to participate. Everybody thinks robots are the next greatest, best thing. But they're going to be the end of humanity. Now, Mackenzie Scott just gave, I don't know, was it like, I'm going to misquote this. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. She just gave money to, and this is Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Let me see. Mackenzie Scott. This is just recently, too. $45 million from Mackenzie Scott. That came out on January 12th. $45 million. No strings attached, she just gave. She is part of the, what is that called? Where they give their wealth away? Oh, come on, Google. Quit erasing my shit. It's some kind of club. I don't know. I forget because I've got so much other stuff in my head. The Giving Pledge, that's right. So she is part of the Giving Pledge group. She's donated over more than $19 billion to more than 2,400 nonprofit organizations since 2019. What's her ex-husband done? What's anybody else done? It's always the women. It's always the women that are trying to save the world. Good for Mackenzie Scott. I want her in Congress. All right, where are we at? What else? I don't know. Okay, speaking of, let's see. My kids think I'm ridiculous. Some good has come of it. I don't shop as much. Yeah, I don't shop as much anymore. I've realized what I can do without. I support more local because of this. That's crazy. But lovely. Because you should shop local. Billie Eilish recently said it best. She said, if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? You know the first thing I'd do if I had $1 billion? I'd buy a sports car and a Rivian. Because I like to go fast. And I'd like to have an electric vehicle. Then I'd buy a farm. Maybe 5 acres of raw or developed land. And somewhere I could stretch out. Maybe an outdoor pool with a cold plunge and a tennis court. Because I want to live somewhere I don't want to leave. It has to be small. Because I can barely keep up the 3-bedroom house that I have now. And this house is too big. And 3 rooms is really all I need. I want chickens and goats and dogs and a cat sanctuary and maybe a horse or 2. I don't know. I'm not going to get greedy. But I like having animals to take care of. I've had a little hedgehog farm because I love some hedgehogs. They're so cute. No ostriches, though. I do like ostriches. When my grandfather had a ranch down in New Mexico, when we used to go down there during the summer times, we'd have the horses, we'd ride the horses. And there was another rancher who had ostriches on the adjoining pen to the horses' pens. So we thought it'd be cool to bring an ostrich egg home with us. And kept it on the fireplace mantle. I was like, okay, that's nice and ornamental. And then I think it was probably a couple weeks, maybe even a month later, the fucking thing blew up. We had an ostrich egg blow up in our condo. It's the rankest shit you've ever smelled. So no ostriches. I'd get all the surgeries I need to be put back together. I'm working on those. We'll see what happens. I got an episode coming up on insurance, and that ought to be a fun one. Hopefully I'm getting to that one next. And then, after I got established, I'd fund every public and social program in the area I was living, as far as I could reach. I would do that if I had $1 billion. Until I had maybe, I don't know, I'd contact a financial advisor. What's it going to take for me to live out the rest of my life? How much money do I need for that? And then beyond that, whatever I had left over, I would spend on social programs and public programs in areas where I saw the need. No one needs $1 billion. Not me, not Mackenzie Scott, not anyone. But you know who is hoarding all their billions? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Dumpy Trumpy. Pay attention. Pay attention to their friends, who attends their parties and their weddings. That will tell you everything you need to know, because collectively they could solve so many problems so easily. But instead they choose themselves over anybody else, over the greater good. Don't sound so great, do it? While workers and consumers for these huge companies shopped for the best deals on a Thanksgiving turkey, their owners were busy popping champagne in their gilded ballrooms with their 500 other fake rich friends, eating caviar, shrimp, and the best filet mignon you'll never taste, because you just shopped for that 99-cent pound turkey and feel like you won the goddamn day. I'd rather be poor and right than rich and wrong. So I can live with that. What else do I have? I don't know. I'm just beside myself. I knew it was going to be horrible. I knew this year was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to start off right out of the gate as awful and murderous and bloody as it did. Innocent people are dying. Murderers are being shielded. And I'm being called by a mental health professional to check on my status. My gun status. Why are you a threat? Are you a threat? Huh? Yeah, I'm the threat. Sure, lady. Go fuck yourself. I mean, I've just lost any fucks anymore. That's the beauty of this. For me, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I just don't give any more fucks. I mean, I have let's see. It's 1:30 p.m. right now. I have exactly an hour before I have to leave here to go pick up my son and take him to the DMV to renew his permit. So I had to get this done. This isn't pretty. This isn't cute. It's sloppy. It's messy. I'm not even going to listen to this over again. I'm just going to post it because I don't have the time, because I have a life to live, a family to love, kids to take care of. We've got to hunker down this weekend. So, you know, I don't care what this sounds like. But I hope for anybody else, all the people out there that I see making a difference, doing what they can in the cold, in the night, in fear, in pain. Not giving a fuck what they look like, how they sound, just doing the damn thing because somebody has to do it. Praise to you. Thank you. From me to you, thank you for doing what you do. I wish I was up there with you because you know what? My rage right now and my level of patience, I think would be better managed in a place where I could expend that energy wisely. But I do have a rage room. So when I'm sitting in Kansas feeling like nobody's doing shit about anything, because really nobody is doing shit about shit, I got a rage room. And I've got people on Instagram who make me feel the tiniest bit better. But I do ask one thing. Please pay attention to who you're idolizing. Please pay attention to the famous people you obsess over, the companies you buy from, the organizations you support, the concert tickets you buy, the sports tickets you buy. Who are those people? That makes a difference. Who are you supporting? And if they're staying silent right now, in the midst of all of this, while poor people carry the weight of the world on their backs, please pay attention to that and act accordingly. Because it's not the rich and famous that are out there on the streets right now. It's the working class. It's the people who work 9 to 5 and still spend their Saturday marching and their Friday nights making signs. They're the ones paying all the taxes. They're the ones carrying the burden that no one else wants to carry. It's the people who are already oppressed and hurting and tired and hungry that are bearing the weight of all of this. So please, if you're the owner of your sports organization is a fascist, please don't support them. Do your research. If that singer or that rapper is a fascist, please don't support them. There's this dude, Chris Webby, this rapper, Chris Webby. Loved him the last couple of years. Loved him. Loved his songs. Was sitting at a game the other day. One of his songs came on and it was talking. I very quickly realized he's a Trump supporter. It even says in the song, I think, he voted for him twice. I immediately deleted all of his songs. No music is that important to me. I don't care if I've been listening to your Bombs Away song for the last 2 years and it's been it's been on my run playlist. Not anymore. Tom McDonald, Man in the Sky, same thing. I thought, oh, I like this guy. Then I read about him. Watched a podcast with him on it with Jillian Michaels. God damn. Sorry I ever looked up to that woman. Not anymore. And I won't be listening to any more of Tom McDonald's music either. So, I make mistakes too, because I don't do the research on every single person or song I download, but I am sure as fuck paying more attention now than I ever have. Because I refuse to give any more power to pussies with guns or words or hate. Just please pay attention. So, the Weather Channel, I don't know. I mean, we're living in Trump's world, right? So this could all be for naught. We could all be worrying and going to the store and emptying our pocketbooks and putting money into theirs for nothing. I don't believe a graphic anymore. I don't believe the Weather Channel anymore. It could be just like the media, funded by the president of United Fuck. You probably defund it anyway, like PBS and NPR. So, we'll see. I am hoping for snow because my children are hoping for snow. What I'm not looking forward to is the possible power or gas outage. Which, like I said, happens here on a good day. But I hope everybody stays safe and warm. And hopefully gets a reprieve from these ice fucks. These degenerates. I don't even know. I don't think there's even a word in the dictionary I could use to describe my disdain for those fuckers. Disgusting. They all look like rejects. Yeah. So hang in there this weekend. Do my best to too. We'll see what happens. So maybe everybody will get a reprieve from ice this weekend. I hope it. Of course, I don't know if Minnesota's supposed to get any more snow. But, they're here in KC too. So I hope they will be preoccupied with other things. But who knows? The limitless terror, horror, and depths of depravity are limitless here with this administration. So who the fuck knows? But if we stay in our houses, maybe we'll be okay this weekend. So I've got a playlist for my fellow fedthefuckuppers. This is a long one. Don't know that it makes a lot of sense, but this is how I felt in the moment. So here it goes. Good Morning by Max Frost. Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins. Connection-OneRupublic. Inner Ninja by Classified. Anything Could Happen by Ellie Goulding. Higher by Bishop Briggs. Getting Ready to Get Down by Josh Ritter. That's a personal one for me. I love that song. Dumb. Love this one. This is for my dumb fuck that used to live next to me. Noga Erez. Don't Drink the Water, Dave Matthews. Hee by Dave Matthews. People by Crystal Garden. Bathsheba and Him by Bastille. Fear by NF. I think that's a good one. That's how I've felt the last couple months. Trigger by Chinchilla and Rage by Dezi. I'm just going to end this by saying that not enough is being done. This isn't fun and games anymore. There are no more jokes to be had from any of this. People are literally dying and will continue to die. And nothing will be done about it because those people who are murdering us will be protected. So I hope we all figure it out someday before it's too late, if it isn't already. Cozy up with your loved ones. Be grateful you have them. find a good TV show, get under the covers, get your electric blankets on, and enjoy. I love you. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.